What is up, everyone? Today on the Social Investing Network, California is all in on cryptocurrency. We dive into the details, the governor's new executive order on crypto, and what it means for technology and consumer protections.
Yes, and Elon Musk tweets a Bored Ape NFT. Naturally, the crypto community has a meltdown. We're going to cover how one man can swing crypto value so much. Finally, we have producer Danny takes a look at Apple's big misses from the past. Are they primed for a flop with an upcoming announcement? Delano?
Yes, Zaid. So guess what, folks? Stick with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Let's get into it right now.
All right, to start, let's get into these quick pick stories.
Yes, Nicole and Zaid. So guess what? Is Elon Musk trolling Twitter right now? He changed his Twitter profile pic to a collage of Bored Apes. And ApeCoin, the token launched by Bored Ape creators Yuga Labs, shot up 19% after this profile pic change, but it has since pared back its gains. He then tweeted, I don't know, seems kind of fungible in a trolling jab at some of us that are kind of enamored with digital collectibles. And after he changed his picture, he was actually called out by Michael Buchanan, a contemporary art specialist at auction house Sotheby's. And that Michael claimed that Elon used his image that was created for the Sotheby's $24 million sale of a 101 Bored Apes in September. So guys, Musk has more than 90 million Twitter followers, and he's been quite busy these days with his Twitter acquisition trying to close, securing funding, but he's still finding times to tweet. And sometimes that changes, the value of some of the things he's tweeting about. What do we think about Elon Musk kind of using his mass following in these sort of ways?
Yeah, I mean, this is just like further proof that the culture of meme stocks are here to stay right now. I mean, stocks are basically meme stocks, right? Are ones that can get pumped based on social media. And Elon already did this. He did this with the GameStop phenomenon, and now he's just like doing it again. I don't know, maybe he's bored, I guess, even though he has like many things to do or could be doing. But just what a privilege for Elon to make markets move and it not really mean much for him, but be nothing but almost a fun game. But like I said, bigger picture, that culture of meme stocks isn't going away. And at the end of the day, whether it's Elon, whether it's Cathie Wood, whether it's Warren Buffett, one person does have this ability to move markets, and that is, it's scary. It isn't the best, in my opinion, for everyone. But I mean, it's kind of just the way the world has worked and been, where we look to influential people and follow their leads. So don't know if we should be doing that so much with Elon, but here we are.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think we're like in a state or a period of volatility, whether that's stocks, crypto, NFTs, whatever the case may be. And Elon's doing his Elon thing, just goofing off on Twitter. He did it, like Nicole said, he did it with GameStop a couple years ago. He was doing it with Dogecoin last year, going on SNL and things like that. I think he's just goofing off, and obviously he has the following to pump any crypto. But I mean, this is no different than like any other pump and dump scheme. Kim Kardashian and all the other celebrities were getting in trouble for doing this as well. So this is no different than that. Being, like I said, Warren Buffett can say, if Warren Buffett says something nice about Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other cryptocurrency, that would also go to the moon. So that would also impact the price. So this is no different than that. It's no
and
different
I would say that it's not siloed to crypto either, which I think is important. It's this level of volatility. GameStop, that wasn't crypto. So it can happen really with anything. And that is, I guess, both good and bad. Good and bad, no matter how you slice it. But I think it's just important to know that it's not just like Dogecoin or a cryptocurrency that can be pumped like this. It could be anything.
Yeah, I mean, we have more retail investors in the market now, right? And one of the downsides, or I guess not maybe a downside, but one of the effects of that is more volatility. People reacting to little things that might just be like not any news, but people still reacting to it. And so more retail investors, I think, is a good thing, but the downside being there's more volatility. So I think we have to take the good with the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of something that is bad, Intuit TurboTax. Intuit TurboTax has been busted, Intuit has to pay $141 million for false free claims. So let me set the story up for you guys, right? Okay, Intuit, they are the parent company, the makers of TurboTax, which is a very, very popular tax preparing software. They've been kind of sketchy lately for the last few years. Between 2016 and 2018, they were advertising their tax software as free, but as you got to the end of the software, after you fill out all your information, they started asking people for money. If you didn't fall within a specific criteria, pretty much everyone didn't fall within a specific criteria of that tax software. And I think they got in trouble with it because they were advertising the software as free. And there were two versions of the free TurboTax software. There was the one through the IRS website, and then there was one that was on their own website. It's the same thing, but if you went through the IRS website, it was free. If you went through Intuit's own website, they were charging people. So they finally got caught. They finally are, being they're paying some damages for it. 141 million. Obviously, it's probably a slap on the wrist based on how much money these guys have probably made off of this. What do you guys think about this story?
Well, one, I have intimate knowledge with Intuit and TurboTax, Aiden, Nicole, because I actually use them to do my taxes. And you're so right. I would always go through where it's hey, this is free. And then it's the federal, you have a charge for doing federal. Then the state is also have another fee. And if you're self-employed, there's usually also another tack on for that as well. So, I see intimate knowledge. And obviously you cannot fool customers, clients. Obviously, they're paying the piper for this, but I have intimate knowledge with it. I do think the software is great for people that like to at least try to do their taxes on their own and have a little bit of aiding through the software. But they're just paying the piper for kind of dissuading us and kind of tricking us a little bit in a sense.
Yeah, this makes me think of just the common phrase of if the product is free, you are the product. At the end of the day, we have to remember nothing's free, even if it's advertised as free. Silicon Valley's been playing on that strategy for years, and any of the social media platforms. So this does make me think of a somewhat similar fine that happened last summer on Charles Schwab, actually. They recently encountered a $200 million fine from the SEC, in part due to them advertising their no-fee robo-advisor, when in reality, the platform did earn a revenue through, I don't have to get into it, but just through underlying exchange trade interest rates and all these different things. So, but they weren't making that clear enough in their advertising, according to the SEC. So once again, just another massive institution that's kind of advertising these things to seem like there isn't such a cost in reality when there is. And so, we just need to obviously create more transparency here and make it to where folks actually know what's going on, whether that means actually having it maybe displayed better on a website. I don't know. But does the punishment, fit the crime? It's hard to say. I would want to know maybe how much TurboTax is probably, worth, or how much revenue they drive in. It's probably way more than $141 million. So
yeah,
this ain't nothing to them.
Yeah, for sure. It's a slap on the wrist. By the way, if you are one of the consumers that was impacted by this, you're expected to receive about $30 for each year between 2016 and 2018 that you paid for the service. And apparently TurboTax is supposed to contact you directly via snail mail. So just don't forget to check your mailbox.
Snail mail. Wow. Yeah. Crushing it, guys. Anyways, moving on. California goes all in with crypto. California Governor Gavin Newsom issued an executive order on Wednesday on cryptocurrencies, laying out a roadmap to create a transparent regulatory and business environment for Web3 companies. The order outlines 7 main priorities for the state, including things like collecting feedback from businesses and stakeholders, engaging in regulatory clarity, and exploring opportunities to use blockchain for public serving needs. The state is already a hotspot for Web3. There are about 800 blockchain companies in the US, and about 25% of them are in California. So this order does build on the Biden administration's proposal in March to examine the risks and benefits of cryptocurrencies, and 37 states have pending legislation on cryptocurrencies and other digital assets. It makes a ton of sense. Crypto assets and blockchain technology surpassed a $3 trillion market cap last November, up from $14 billion just 5 years prior. And roughly 16% of adults have invested in, traded, or used cryptocurrencies. One of the even more interesting stats, venture capitalists have bet big on crypto startups in 2021, investing more than $27 billion globally as of late November, more than the previous 10 years combined, and that is according to PitchBook. That was the chart you just saw. So obviously there's a lot of moving pieces here. When a state like California makes moves like this, it is hopefully setting some sort of benchmark for other major states, New York, to be able to, make some more, moves here. And what is interesting is, I guess, kind of the synergy between the government and innovation, and kind of the hope and idea is that if they can work more in tandem with each other, then there will be less fines, less kind of settlements that need to happen, and instead they can work more fast to have innovation as opposed to stifling innovation with problems happening or putting fires out as they happen. So
yeah, I think California, along with other states like Texas, are trying to create an environment where they attract more crypto companies, where there's more clarity, and there's not just these regulations from 100 years ago that may or may not apply to them. So by having any sort of clarity, having any sort of guidelines, makes it more attractive for crypto companies and blockchain companies to set up shop there and hopefully help grow and add to the economy of that state. So I think more and more states are going to adopt similar guidelines and more clarity, so companies can start hiring people and setting up shop.
Yeah, 100%. And you even saw, we even had in New York, our mayor, Eric Adams, I think he was taking his first 3 paychecks, 2 or 3 paychecks in Bitcoin. So you're seeing a lot of different states, different cities adopt frameworks to help make it more palatable for these burgeoning crypto companies that want to find a place to innovate. As you mentioned, Nicole, that innovation where we can see, companies and government working together is huge. And a lot of states and cities are seeming to embrace that.
Yeah, big moves forward for crypto and its future. Now we're going to get into our So That Happened segment with producer Danny. We have covered Apple a ton on this show. In fact, I think that Zaid might own every Apple product ever made. And some knockoffs too, right, Zaid?
Guilty, yeah.
And now Apple is rumored to be looking at making its own car. An ambitious task for sure, but could they pull it off? That remains to be seen. We know Apple has had major hits, but their misses, well, they are even bigger. So we turn our attention to Apple this week in So That Happened, and welcome, producer Danny.
Hey, gang. I'm speaking to you today as potentially a TurboTax victim. I didn't even know about this.
Make sure you get that $30. Check your
mailbox. Get your $30 back. Check that snail mail.
It's crazy. I know I'm a sucker because they're always like, do you want to buy the max protection or whatever it is? And I'm like, yes, I will buy whatever it is. They're like, oh, we'll send a therapist to your house if you get audited. I'm like, yes, I need this. Let's go. All right, guys. Well, everyone, we're always talking about Apple, as we said. So I thought let's take a stroll down memory lane and look at some of Apple's top 5 biggest misses. Number 5 on the list, iTunes Ping. In 2010, Apple joined the social networking fad and released Ping. In Steve Jobs' words, it was sort of like Facebook and Twitter meets iTunes, and it was, except, people actually like those platforms. It was a huge mess. Facebook integration was announced and then pulled, and right away, Ping was immediately covered with scams for, get this, iPhones.
I don't even remember this.
I don't remember this.
Nobody remembers this. I remember it. I think I was an enthusiastic user, and then just nobody cared. And then it was like all the comments were like free iPhone, and it's like, okay, well, thanks, Apple. This isn't usable. Though I think yeah, right. MySpace on iTunes. I think in Apple's defense, the best thing I could say is that iTunes was already horrible. So number 4 on our list, going to Nerd Town here, FireWire. Do you guys know FireWire?
Yeah.
There we go. In classic Cupertino fashion, FireWire was an Appleism coined to refer to an interface. It was basically a fancy USB port known as IEEE 394, which, in their defense doesn't really roll off the tongue. FireWire was actually a pretty good standard. Apple was pretty cool about it. They worked with like a bunch of partners, and the industry embraced it. I embraced it. In 2010, I bought a really nice audio thing, $400, roughly 50 grand in today's money. And I thought, oh, this is a great investment. You know, this will last 10 years. You know, this will be amazing. Okay. 2 years later, cut to 2012, Apple was lacking on income. Steve Jobs heard IBM was making millions on licensing, patenting, things of that nature, and Apple changed their whole structure. They decided to charge per port on companies using FireWire. Everybody rebelled. The consumer electronics industry said nope. Intel pulled their support, and everyone rallied behind USB 2.0, and there went my $400.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
I remember like some drama behind FireWire, but I had no idea that that's what happened. That's a man. Apple's really good at like hitting us with like the Men in Black like forget flash. Like we just like forget all the failures. It's pretty impressive.
They seriously are, because I wish I would have known about. I mean, someone should bring up drama about their current like USB port situation, because I'm still trying to figure out why I need to buy a bunch of ancillary products just to make my Mac work with my equipment. So, but anyway,
Apple's always having an issue with ports. Number 3 on our list, the polishing cloth. Apple was roundly mocked for its $19 polishing cloth. I mean, what more is there to say, guys? It's $20 for a cloth. I mean,
This
what
is
kind
not
of
a failure.
sycophantic loser
I love these
would even?
clocks.
I mean, okay, but guys,
sociopathic loser is what Danny just said in the
Yeah, well-
because I love these cloths.
Yeah,
Right?
This is not a failure. I feel like the cloth is pretty dope.
I get them for free though. If you go to the store, you'll get them for free.
yeah, I mean, I just feel like this is a blatant cash grab, and anyone who has one, you know, what are they doing? They're completely unhinged. Sorry, hold on, I can't see. My glasses are dirty.
Is there a
There you
big
go.
All right.
Apple icon on that thing?
It better be.
I didn't know Delano had it. He threw my bit. Apparently, he's a bigger Apple guy than me. All right, you guys are going to love this one. This is number 2 on our list. The 20th Anniversary Macintosh. Okay, a picture says 1,000 words. This puppy cost $7,500. Astronomical for 1997, guys. And for a piece of hardware that I think looks like a parody of a Sharper Image product. Get this, no one bought the thing. I've never even heard of Apple doing this. They're like, all right, well, they dropped the price to $3,500. They cut it in half, basically, and then it fell to $2,000. It was so bad that people who paid full price were like, hey, come on, I mean, you can't do this. Apple actually, I got to give them credit, said, all right, here's a free PowerBook. That was their consolation prize.
We don't count the era where Steve Jobs wasn't in charge, so that doesn't even count.
Oh, that's apparently Apple
Wow.
stands. That is the rule. Got it.
That
Got
doesn't
it.
count.
I feel like Zayd uses these as tissues. They're in every room in his house.
based on how much you stand Apple, they should just send you like an unlimited supply.
Why do you
of
think
them.
I keep standing them? Of course, I'm trying to get on their good graces.
Oh my gosh.
Number 1 on this list, a Apple list universal cringe, the Apple USB mouse. As we sit at the dawn of Apple literally trying to reinvent the wheel, please remember this is a company that for some time forgot how hands work. Okay, the so-called hockey puck. Everyone calls it the hockey puck now. It was an ergonomic nightmare. Not only was it uncomfortable to use, that's obvious enough, but you couldn't tell which way the mouse was facing. So it was like just completely disorienting. Terrible. Not even calling the blue plastic exterior Bondi blue could save a botch like this.
I will say they're still struggling with the mouse. I like have my mouse right here, and I'm still trying to wonder why I gotta plug it into the butt here just to charge it, and then I don't get to use it, and then it has to sit like this, face up, and I can't even use it while it's charging. So they're still gonna work on that one, in my opinion. But
Apple and ports. They always have to innovate and make things weird, but just be happy that they're not charging you per port like FireWire, Nicole.
all right, I will be thankful.
That's it for me. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Thank you, Danny.
And that does it for our show today as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Enjoy your Thursday. We will see you tomorrow.
See you. Hey y'all, thanks for watching. Make sure you tune in every day. Also hit that like, subscribe, and notification buttons. We'll see you tomorrow.